So someone has directly watched on YouTube and that's also, sir.
Uday Shankar?
As, okay, sir, I will start, sir. I'll start.
Okay, fine.
Good evening to one and all. Warm welcome to you. Wonderful seminar for this today's section. Okay, today our chief guest, Dr.S.Neelamani sir, Senior Research Scientist, Coastal Management Program, Environmental Life Science Research Center, Kuwait Institute of Science and Research. Introduction about Dr. S. Neelamani sir. He completed BE Civil Engineering in Madras University, now as a Government College of Technology. And he completed Masters of Technology, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, Marine Technology. Completed Doctor of Philosophy at Indian Institute of Technology by Aerospace Engineering, IIT Madras. He started his career, worked as a senior project officer grade 2 at IIT Madras, then worked as a lecturer in Ocean Engineering, IIT Madras, then worked as an associate professor, IIT Madras. He completed Alexander Humboldt postdoctorate research fellow, Germany. Till date working as a senior research scientist, Coastal Management Program, Kuwait Institute for Scientific, International Visiting Faculty at IIT Kharagpur. Awards: the Institute Blue Award by IIT Kharagpur for Best Outgoing Student for the year 1985. The Good Teacher Award by Director of IIT Madras for continuous tenure. Then Scientific Achievement Award by KISR 6 times. The Engineer of the Year Award by Tamil Nadu Engineer Forum, Kuwait. Patents. We have 3 patent rights. One is the floating breakwater. Second one is a method of dissipating water wave energy. And third one, method of damping ocean waves in coastal area in US patent. Then publication. He published the 142 papers in international journals. Then he published the 256 international and national conference. Then he published the one book on extreme wind atlas for Kuwait. Then he published the 16 articles in newspaper. He guided the PhD students for 29. He completed the n number of projects like Kuwait and India also. The lectures provided through online webinar on 69 lectures and webinars. Gave the interview or TV interview on 4 interviews. The various abroad visits, total 32 countries. I like some of the countries like UK, Denmark, Germany, Belgium, USA, Australia, Brazil, etc. for these awards and conference, international and all the purpose. Okay. Once again, thank you, sir. Warm welcome to you for this section for you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Uday Shankar, for the introduction. Welcome all the students for this interactive session. You are most welcome to ask any questions. We have to make this particular session not as a lecture, but as an interaction. Every one of you must be having some dreams in your mind regarding your future job. Where should I join? How should I join? What will be my future? You will be having n number of questions in your mind. Sometimes during your sleep, you may be getting a lot of dreams regarding your future and all. Like we used to have all those things. Even now, we used to have a lot of dreams regarding how to do the project without problem, how to go for the next US patent. So we used to get the dreams every now and then. So you must be having a lot of dreams, right? So please keep interacting during the session completely. Even during the session or after the session, you are all like my close friends. Okay, so you are free to come to me for any discussion. I will start with the PowerPoint presentation. Please tell me you can see the screen. Please tell me.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So first I will start with presentation. See, my presentation will be, I will try to do it in 45 minutes. Then we will have question and answer. So like that we will go. So the topic of the presentation is higher studies and career opportunities, particularly for engineers around the world. So in this, I will also a little bit spend time on the job opportunities, mainly in Gulf countries here where I am working. Okay. So this is my contact. You can use my Yahoo or my official contact. This is the institute. Or you can also come to me by WhatsApp. Plus 965 is the ISD for Kuwait. And this is my number. 8 number only here. Because we have only 45 lakh people working in Kuwait. So we have only 8 number mobile phone number. So you can use this contact even after our presentation in future. If you want to become friend with me lifelong, you are most welcome. Any point of time you can join. This seminar is for few important points. First of all, to give you a clear guidance, counseling about higher studies and job opportunities, and some aspect I want to share from my personal experiences. Finally, at the end, it should create interest and confidence among you on your future. This is what the dream of every human being, not only engineer, every human being. This was my dream as well when I was doing my studies. So when you do your studies, what you dream is you like to get a well-paid, good job. Number one, everybody has this point. Number two, highly secured job. Number three, you love to have a very impressive working environment. Okay. Number four, you love to have friendly colleagues. And you join in any company, you will have a boss. Till your retirement, you will have a boss. So you always love to have a good boss, understanding boss, who always tries to help you. And we always love to travel abroad for many reasons, to see the culture of people and to see how they are working, how they are excelling in their work, or how they are failing, whatever it is. So this also we want. And as an engineer, we always love to have good respect and appreciation from society. So this is also there. Now the question is whether all these things will be available to us. That is the question. So if you ask this question to me, it is very, very difficult to get all these things in one bucket, one basket. Okay, at any point of time, something from here will be missing. And from that, every day we learn in our life how to navigate, to overcome difficulties. So this will be part and parcel of life. When I was doing my engineering, I was dreaming that I will have a great future without any trouble. Because whatever the trouble I personally came across during my childhood, I thought everything will escape when I finish my engineering with a good knowledge. That is what the dream. But then if you ask me whether it happened, no, it never happened like that. So every day you have to learn to navigate correctly. If you see what type of jobs are available for engineers around the world in general, you can divide them like this. One is government job, private job. Third one is self-employment, entrepreneurship, like that. If you are a civil engineer, you can become a good builder. You can use your knowledge, start your own company, and do business of building multi-story flats, sell them and make profit, do innovation in your work. So you can become easily, you can become an entrepreneur after a few years of experience working with a good builder. If you are looking for a job, government job, it is completely different nowadays. When we were finishing our engineering degree, 1979-84 from Government College of Technology, during those days, getting civil engineering branch was very tough. High ranked students, they come to civil engineering. Reason is, when you finish civil engineering, immediately you will be AE, assistant engineer in PWD, quad, highways, environment department, like that. It was like that. The next day, when you finish your examination, when you get your final semester mark sheet with the degree, next day you are joined. It was like that. Only 7, 8 colleges in those days. 200 people only will come out, around 200 with all subjects cleared. There are 300 positions available. It was like that during those days. Today it is different. So very few people in my batch joined private companies. Okay, nowadays there are a lot of private companies and very few government jobs, because more than, I think, come from Tamil Nadu here, and it is difficult for government to do job to all of them. Okay, these three type of job, either in India or abroad, you have the system, same system. Every type of job has its own merit and demerit. What is your interest? What is your heart says? You take this, you take it into consideration. I will tell you in general, if you get a government job in India, you will get some decent pay. And whether you deliver good or not, you have a secure job. It all your consciousness. You wanted to do good, you will do good. You wanted to relax and feel the salary what government gives is free. It is all up to the person working in government. Not many people, your upper boss, nobody will keep asking you to deliver the jobs. No. Okay. Then, other than that, in government job, will have a lot of money mismanagement. I am not going to tell in detail. All these things will be there because you are under the control of some minister, and it is very difficult to get a minister who is really clean like Kamaraj. You will not get any type of a minister, either central government or state government. So you are forced to get bribe or forced to loot government money, because the money, some part of the money has to go to the minister. Okay, these are all true. I'm not hiding anything, and I'm not going to tell you any wrong message. All right messages. So if you wanted to live in such an environment, then you can aim for government job. I know many people nowadays, they are ready to pay lakhs and lakhs of rupees to get a government job. Okay, it's all like that. Then my point is how you wanted to live your life that God has given to you. So that is in your hand. You have to do. In private companies, for example, I will tell you only one or two companies, Tata or Reliance. like that, for example. They also offer job for engineers, depends on the requirement. But then they will extract a lot of work from you. Salary may be equivalent to government or sometimes it's better. But then you will apply your knowledge systematically. You will get opportunity to learn a lot of new things. And when you work in some of these companies for 10 years, you will be needed around the world. You will get a good opportunity around the world because you learned a lot after your degree. So if that is a situation, you should take up a good job in private. It's all up to you. You don't like to join government or private, and you want to spend all your time and energy for your growth, take up an entrepreneurship. At the beginning, while learning, it will be difficult, but then after certain years of life, you know how to lead a good entrepreneurship business. Okay, some of my batchmates, they are all doing very well by their own self-employment entrepreneurship. Coimbatore, in Chennai, my friends, my batchmates, some of them, we were 60 in my batch. Many of them civil engineers, they are all in government, some of them only in private, and some of them, they have their own line. And I discuss with my friends working in government. Some of them say, some of them who wanted to keep their hand clean, they say it is pity they joined here. Some of them, they cannot able to tolerate, they took voluntary retirement early and they are doing their own business. And some of them who love to do bribery, they wanted to stay there. So it's all like that. Okay, so it's up to you. You have to decide. You ask your heart what you wanted to do in your life, accordingly you decide. Then next thing is either you work in India or in abroad. Okay, now in this question, if you ask, sir, can I, which is good, working in India or in abroad? If you ask me this question, it has its own merit and demerit. Working in abroad has its own merit and demerit. Working in India has its own merit and demerit. Lot of merits and demerits you can discuss. If it is in India, for example, if you work in a government or private or entrepreneurship, you always feel you are the son of the soil. So sometimes when things are not going fine, you can easily you can express your feeling in a very systematic, hard way. It's possible if you are in India. Same position if you are in abroad, such things may not be possible. Because in abroad, normally, you are considered as a second-hand citizen. You will not have all the liberty of the country people. You understand? Even if you are closer to getting a Nobel Prize, nobody will mind. The people will put you down in many occasions. You need to tolerate. You need to have a lot of tolerance to work in abroad. People will try to misuse and things may not go in a way you love to go. All these things will happen every day in your life. But then you have to learn to live. Okay? So this all there. And in India, as I told you, if you work, see, I can talk about my experience working in IIT, a faculty member. For you, when I say I was faculty member in IIT Madras, you immediately you feel, oh, such a high quality position, right? That's what you feel. Truly speaking, yes, a faculty in IIT means it is extremely difficult to get. That I can tell you. It is not that easy to get a faculty position in top ranked IIT. Maybe in the recent IITs you may get it. Okay, but top ranked IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, Kanpur, Kharagpur, top rank. They are all in top 5 in India. To become a faculty in such institute is not that easy. Not that easy. Even now, to enter into website of IIT, you will always have open advertisement for faculty. Okay, so that means if some of you love to go for teaching in such high institute, I can tell you the route. Okay, clearly I will tell you the route, and you can land up as a faculty in IIT. It's all possible. But then there also you will face so much of different type of problems, and you have to learn how to. Okay, if you want any examples, I will tell you after the. But as I told you, my batch 7984, we got campus interview from DRDO, defense sectors, ONGC, BHEL, BEL. Many of our batch members with electrical, electronics, mechanical, they all got absorbed by campus interview. Only very few people after going out from the campus, they applied for jobs. Otherwise, most of them got campus interview by the last semester. Okay, many of my batchmates, they're all in DRDO, they retired recently, and some of them still working in BHEL, BEL at a very high position, topmost positions. NLC, a big group went into Naval Engineering Corporation from my batch. But all like that in those days. So you make a plan. Try to work towards the plan. Okay. So, but whatever you make the plan, the reality may or may not be the same. From my experience, I can tell you from my experience. As I told you, when I joined engineering, I took civil engineering because I wanted to join immediately after civil engineering a government job because of my family background. I came from a poor family, a handloom weaver family, and my father wanted to see me earning immediately after PE. And somebody told my father that if your son joins PWD or highway, he will have a huge salary at first. He will build you a theater. So somebody brainwashed my father, and my father was telling me after BE, join in PWD or what, and within 1 or 2 years, try to build me a theater. That's what he meant. Okay, you understand? My father was not an educated person. He was a handloom weaver. So he did not know all those things. So that was my plan also. I wanted to join and earn at the area. But then what happened? I was having a professor, Professor G.A. Kumaresan, one of the wonderful professor I met in my life. He was telling us not to go for government job because of the reasons I told you. And he advised us to go for higher studies, learn more, because the future needs more innovation. So we have to learn as much as possible before we settle in life. And he was also telling there is a branch called Ocean Engineering in IIT Madras, and he was telling it will be a good branch, and not conventional like structural engineering, geotechnical, hydraulics, water resources. They are all conventional. Many colleges have. So he was advising us to do ocean engineering. So then I took it as a challenge. So I was following this direction, joining MTech in IIT Kharagpur, PhD in IIT Madras. Things were going like that. Okay, anyway, so that is a good thing. So listening to a guide is always good. So they are the visionaries. They know what we will do in future if we follow their direction. So I personally followed him, his guidance and counseling, and really I am very thankful for him. Okay, wherever you join, whether in government, private, or your own, as an engineer, we have to know what is our responsibility. Okay, we have to know very clearly. We have to build or maintain or involve in processing or producing or operating or the quality assurance. You can talk for hours about this. Civil engineer, basically you build and maintain. Mechanical, electrical, electronics, you produce or process, operate. Quality assurance everywhere. The civil engineer, you always look for good quality. Material, good quality. Construction, flawless construction. So all those things. So this is what you do in general. In general. But then you have to make sure the work you do finally delivers any of these following. Either it helps to reduce the cost or reduce the risk. For example, if you are working in a aircraft manufacturing company, your work will be how to reduce the risk of the aircraft while flying. Okay. Or you work to make the comfort and quality of our life. Whatever field. You are building an infrastructure, say like this building, how do you make it more comfortable? Starting from the planning, using the material, how do you use the natural forces like sunlight, wind flow, all these things. So you look into its character, how to use them to make sure your comfort is assured. Finally, everything do, make sure it is a sustainable process. Okay, this is a buzzword nowadays for engineers. Sustainable development. You all know what it means. Sustainable development. To tell you an example, if for your construction, building construction, if you need one tree, the wooden plates available in one tree, if it is required, make sure you use that one tree, but then you make sure 2 trees will be planted, maintained, and grown. So this is the meaning of sustainable. Okay. So if you are starting a cement industry, for example, as an entrepreneur, you are starting a cement industry. If you do a clear study of the environment, the cement industry will pollute. For example, from the industry, 1 kilometer radius, everywhere you will have pollution. So the biodiversity in 1 kilometer will be affected. So now what you do, you have to plan an environmental management system such that in another area, you try to improve the biodiversity minimum 2 times of how much it is going to be damaged by the industry. Like that. So we can give hundreds of examples. So wherever you are working, please keep in mind these things as a result of your work. This is most important. Okay, every day when you work and go home, you see whether you have contributed even a small bit of this. Engineers also have a lot of demotivation. When I talk with some of my classmates working in government sector, their words are demotivating. They say every day they are doing the same thing, boring. The engineering knowledge, what they think, they are not able to apply. There is no innovation, there is no creativity. So they get bored. The worst thing for any human being on the earth is leading a boring life. This is the worst thing I can tell. Nothing worse than this. If somebody's life is boring, better to die. That is what I say to anybody. If they are not doing joyful contribution to the society in their respective field, they feel boring or they are wasting their time consuming the resources. It is not worth leading a life. So this is a very clear message I always tell. And sometimes the jobs are transferable. Some people like this because every 3 years, if you join military service, every 3 years you'll be moving. But if you like that, There is no substitute. Because one point of time you will be in Kashmir, another point of time you will be in Assam, next 3 years you will be in Rajasthan, but then you will get an exposure of different culture, different environment. It is a beautiful thing. I personally love a job which is transferable for the sake of learning new things. Okay? Then a general question from students I always get are how is the future job opportunity for engineers in general? They say. They ask. The answer is plenty around the world. Somebody says engineering is a wastage of study. Just it is not true. Without creative, innovative engineer, world will not prosper. So every country around the world, they will keep on investing billions and billions of dollars for the material and the infrastructure we need. Everybody in the earth needs a home. Everybody needs foods and clothes. Everybody needs communication systems. Everybody needs machines to move around. Then what is the message? Message is engineering is always required around the world. But then what is happening nowadays is world needs innovative. Okay, you go to olden days, as I told you, number of engineers were so few. Demand was so high. So in such situation, what will happen? Whether an engineer is innovative or not, he gets employment. But it is not so nowadays. Okay. Nowadays, the demand remains the same. Demand slowly grows. But supply growth is very, very high. So this is an imbalance nowadays. So in this type of world, there is no excuse. See, when such situation arises, we have to fine-tune ourselves to meet the demand. No point in blaming anything. There is nothing will work if we blame the system or government. Nothing will work. What we have to do is we have to see clearly how we can mold ourselves to the required demand. That is what we have to do. Okay, we have to become more innovative. But then nowadays, even when people finish +2, sometime when I do this type of program in school, they ask, sir, what is the engineering I should select so that I will get it? Definitely will get a job. I can say that you have better opportunity for this type of field. For example, biotechnology, nanotechnology, genetics, robotics, ocean and coastal. They have better opportunity. Reason is not many people in this area compared to conventional engineering. So that is the only thing. Supply and demand finally. In ocean and coastal engineering around the world, many countries, they are putting a lot of money in new infrastructure. So they are looking for innovative engineers. But then you have to become innovative. That is the thing. Engineer, day-to-day life of an engineer, if you see different engineers, it is different. If you are a civil engineer, you will be doing either analysis or design or construction planning. You will do planning, or doing construction, you manage, you assure quality control, purchasing different construction equipment, or you do supervision, or you do maintenance. If you have huge infrastructure like militaries, they have many civil engineers for maintenance of the infrastructure. I wanted to tell you, when you finish your BE, you will have some knowledge about all these things. So some knowledge about all these things is not good. You have to be an expert in an area nowadays. That is what most important. So at least for that purpose, you should go for higher studies, become an expert in one particular area, then you will meet the demand. Because civil engineering nowadays around the world, you see people are building very, very high-rise buildings. Dubai, they already built 880-meter high tower. They are planning to build 1,000 plus meter high-rise building. In Kuwait, also they are planning. And you see many places people are building innovative type of structures. Okay, fascinating structures. So we need to be a specialist in any one of the area. Similarly, if you are a mechanical, electrical, electronics engineer or a petroleum engineer, you will work either in exploration and exploitation of crude oil from the land or from the sea, or you work in a refinery or in operation, quality assurance, like that. Okay, so this needs experience. After your engineering, you need to work in some of the companies like the NTPC, ONGC, 2 years, and if you then you try, you will get a very good job abroad. Okay, like this type of industry. If you are an electrical engineer, mainly you work on electrical power production, either renewable energy or non-renewable energy. Then you work how to distribute them and control them, and the infrastructure, how to operate and maintain. So that is what you fit from the electrical engineering point of view. Okay, so like that. If you are a mechanical engineer, you will work in industries involved in movement of machines, a spectrum of industries. Aerospace, you get an opportunity to work on Boeing, type of an aircraft manufacturing or maintenance of the aircraft. If you are an ocean engineer like me, plenty of jobs in varieties of ocean resource exploitation, starting from oil and gas, deep water mineral, different type of fishing, marine aquaculture, port and harbors, coastal erosion protection, like that. Spectrum of applications are there. Are you involved in construction of new type of infrastructure like star hotels and buildings and sports? They are all in the sea like this. So you will get an opportunity around the world to work. Like Dubai, here in the Gulf country, Dubai, they are doing any type of fascinating project in the ocean. Okay. As an engineer, I always tell this to any engineer who is joining as a fresher in a job. When you join in a job, make sure your mind is like an antenna. You always keep it ready to take up the new development. The way new developments are happening during the last 20 years is something unimaginable. You have to really race, to racing to catch hold of all the new developments. A lot of things happen, but then you need to learn them quickly. Particularly if you think about software, when I was doing my engineering in BCP, Fortran was the software I was learning. Then from that day, you see now how many languages developed during the last years. Unimaginable. Now, job avenues in India, particularly, first I will tell about India and then abroad. India, you know very well the central and state government job. The central government job, you have to write engineering service commission. If you are very good in your subject, it is very easy to break engineering service commission. It's not that difficult. Or if you want to join central government organization like BEL, BEL, ONGC, every year they are taking fresh engineers. They are giving training, and once the training is over, opportunities. You will be working with them. Or you look for opportunity with some of these reputed companies in India, that is Tata, Reliance, and working with them is a blessing because many of my friends working here, They all worked in these type of industries for a few years before taking up a job in Kuwait. Okay, so that country they give preference if you have experience with reputed Indian companies. So make sure you write the entrance examination to join this company, work for a few years, then help. Top companies in India for civil engineering, DLP, DLF, Tata, JP, MR, Reliance, like that. Common India Limited. They are all good companies to work with. If you are a mechanical engineer, these are all the good companies, highly reputed companies in India. Okay. So if you get an opportunity to work in Engineers India Limited, you will get opportunity to work on many different projects. 3 years of experience is like a rocket pad for going abroad. If you are an electrical engineer, these are all the good companies in India. You should try to get a job here. I know you all know about the top IT companies in India. So if you get a chance to work, you work in some of the IT companies. My son worked in Infosys after mechanical engineering. After a few years of experience, now he has gone to MS in Arizona State University for business analysis. So like that. Because some of the courses they need experience, so you need to get experience from good companies. We all know about this. Starting salary of some of these companies anywhere from say 20,000 to 30,000 in topmost companies. It's not very attractive nowadays, but then even if that is a salary, you should join, but then you should try to learn as quick as possible the new things. That is what required. You all need to know one point. This is the most important point I always tell to students. The Infosys, if you read their annual report, during 2019 annual report, they have lakhs of employees. Their annual revenue per employee is $54,000. This is the revenue. But then the salary per employee in India, what he gets is 4,000 to 13,000 per year. This is the salary range. Okay. So if they earn $54,000 and if they pay $4,000, less than 10%, what it means, you need to think. If most of the students they join like Infosys, they don't join to work there permanently. They know they will use Infosys as a stopgap, only working for a few years, and afterwards from there they will jump to some other good company abroad. So they know Infosys, they know it very well, so they don't give much attention. But still it is worth because the opportunity to work in Infosys. If somebody asks me, I say you pay some money to Infosys and go. But you got an exposure for many projects, and if you love to learn, you learn very quickly. In Infosys, some of the people they get this salary. For example, the CEO of Infosys, his salary is 24 crore rupees per year. I told you, some of the engineers or system engineers, they get per year salary of about 3 lakh rupees. Whereas in the same company, somebody gets 24 crores of rupees. What it is. So a person joining here with a small salary, if you want, you will become one day a CEO of this company, provided you know what he is doing and how he reached this position, how he has improved his qualification. That's all required. The gap between these two is, from salary wise, it is like so huge, but then if someone deserves to become this, is possible. That is what I also say. This is what I also told my son. When he joined Infosys, when he said the salary is so small, I said salary is not a matter at all. You try to learn as much as possible, and you have to prove that you are indispensable. If you are joining a company, the company should feel if you leave the company, they will lose a lot. That is the way you should make. So your capability, capacity, your way of producing, delivering goods, you have to make sure the company really love to have you with them. Okay, so that is the message of this particular seminar I want to give. Now we will talk about abroad. In abroad, anywhere around the world, the rule of the job is like this. If you get a job in abroad, if your salary package is X per year, maybe 10 lakh rupees per year, for example, the company will make sure you work such that the company gets minimum 2 times of the salary to 10 times. This is what the formula. No company abroad will take you for a salary of 10 lakhs and you return them 5 lakhs every year. Nowhere around the world. It will not happen. It will not happen ever. This I can tell you. Okay, so this is what you have to keep in mind. In Gulf countries, for example, normally this is a salary package of an engineer in Gulf country here. US dollar 10,000 to 100,000 depends on their experience, knowledge, creativity, all those things if you count. I know some of the engineers in some of the companies, they get US dollar 100,000 per year. Many of them in Gulf countries, they work for $10,000 salary. The difference is only that much. The person getting this much of salary, he will make 5 times of this money back to the company. So the company never hesitate to give him this much of salary. Similarly, same thing here. So there is a difference. So where you wanted to reach in the long run, it is in your control. Nobody else will make the control. In Gulf country, the difference between Gulf country and other countries, here there is no tax. Income tax is 0 as on today. But in future it may change. Okay? And in Gulf country, you cannot get citizenship like US or Canada or Australia or any other European country. If you work for some years, you will get citizenship. You will become part of the country. But in Gulf country, it is not the case. So you have to keep in mind. Entrepreneurship, if you really love that your time is really valuable and you have to make profit of your time for you, for your growth, as per your wish of time management, you should go for entrepreneurship. If you work for a government or private sector, then the remote control is with your boss. Whereas if you are an entrepreneur, the remote control, you have the remote control with you. It's all up to you. For a successful long career, 2 things are required for engineers. One, an engineer must be a self-learner. The engineer should not wait for someone to come and teach you. No. You must be a self-learner. You should believe very strongly you will make it. So that belief is required. Keep your mind open. You try. Even you sometimes you get opportunity to learn from your helper. I learn a lot from my helper and technician. Yeah, sometimes they come up with innovative ideas. So we have to keep our mind open. You have to be hungry for new knowledge. Our responsibility to search for new knowledge, keep learning. Whatever the new things developing, particularly in software, like Shankar is doing, trying to teach a new course for engineers. If you get an opportunity to learn new codes and new software, never miss it. Particularly when somebody is organizing course, sometimes free, sometimes with a very small money. It happens only in India, and people like Uday Shankar, who loves to help society. You don't see such type of things happening in abroad. Never you will get a free course from US. I can tell you. If you come across somebody is giving a free course from US, any institute or any organization, tell me. I never have seen such type of things in developed countries. Developed countries, they spend 5 minutes of their time for you, they will charge you. I will tell you one small incident. In some of the international conferences run by UK and USA, the conference, you have to pay very hefty fees. A 4-day conference, if you go and attend, you have to pay something like 1 lakh rupees. Very easy. And then they will tell you from the beginning, for this 1 lakh rupees, what they give. They will tell you, this, we give you. If you want anything extra, for example, if you want a certificate from us, this is what you have to pay extra. If you want me to write an email regarding a hotel, you have to pay this much extra. This is how the world is. It's not like we see in India. India, people give their time free for others to come up in life. It is not happening in developed countries. That way, we have to really feel proud of some of the people. Like Uday Shankar, that's what I make a very strong friendship with him, because he wants to help society. Okay. So when somebody is giving codes and software like that, make use of it. Simple rule of survival in this world is, make sure you know a lot of things that billions of people do not know. This is what the tip I have to tell. This is what I tell to my son also frequently. The knowledge what you have, billions of people, they do not have. That is a rule. If everybody knows the knowledge you know, you are not the competition. You are not in the front row. So make sure you put your time and effort that you are something special in your area. Okay, this is what, if you are working in a company, the company should feel you are indispensable. If you leave the company, it is a big loss to the company. That is the way you have to make yourself. Some of the most promising people around the world, if you take, these are some of the topmost CEOs around the world from India. And if you take, many of them are basically engineers. Starting from Sundar Pichai, for example. Sundar Pichai, he was in IIT Kharagpur, my junior, 4 years junior to me. And imagine what he is doing nowadays. Many of these guys, they are all from IITs. Okay, so if you are doing your bachelor degree in a college, private college or government college, don't stop here. Go for higher studies in IIT. IIT, if you do MTech, they are giving you 13,000 rupees per month. Enough, much more enough than what is needed. 1.5 to 2 years of exposure in IIT will completely change your brain power, your overall personality. Everything will completely change. You will be in high demand. So the effort to reach there, you have to put. You see what? This is the salary, typical salary of Sundar Pichai. Every second his salary is $350. Okay. Whereas many engineers in India, they work for monthly salaries of $350. Okay. Imagine. So you have to see the difference of the people, how they could able to reach this level, and we have to try to follow the path they have traveled. I will quickly go through the modern engineering marvels. If you get an opportunity to work in these type of projects, that will be a great bonus. For example, an engineer gets an opportunity to work in artificial island development, the civil engineer job particularly. It will be a great bonus for his next future. Or if you get an opportunity to work on challenging bridges like this, a lot of new things you learn. Or get an opportunity to work on multi-story building like this, you know what new is happening. The bridges, some of the bridges, many meters without support. You analyze, design, construct, or whatever way, if you try to involve, you will be the hot cake of the world. Work on projects which have under the sea tunnel. Okay, then the experience will really help. Or work on shipbuilding industries to produce this type of ships, which is a $6 billion ship, will be hot cake. Or work in a company where they make bridges, powerful dams like this, will be great. Or do some entrepreneurship where you can invent some of these things, great. Or get an opportunity to work in Airbus to accommodate thousands of passengers, it's a challenge. Every year, the high-speed train, the speed is keep on increasing. You can imagine the technology behind it. Okay. See, you got an opportunity to work in such companies. Or in space, ASRO or similar companies. Now, just a few minutes, I will tell you in few minutes the opportunity in Gulf countries. Just a few minutes, then I will stop for questions. I am working in Gulf country here in Kuwait from 2003. I'll tell you briefly my background of coming to Gulf country. I was in IIT Madras teaching from 1919 to 2003. We regularly used to go to the library to read the journal paper to see what is happening around the world, new things happening around the world. I found in one of the journal, last few pages always job opportunities in abroad. So I found a job opportunity in this institute, Kuwait Institute of Scientific Research. When I read the requirement, it was exactly matching my experience. Okay, it happened during 2002, beginning 2002. Okay, then I applied for the position. Then I got a call from here. Then came here to Kuwait for interview. It was 3 days interview program, interview, presentation, what I will do if I join here. And they took me to different coastal areas, where problematic areas, and they were listening what I will do if I join here, all those things. So they were doing an assessment for 3 days, and I came back. Then I was a sports advisor in IIT Madras. We were in IIT Delhi with the students, IIT Madras students, and all the IITs, they were together for inter-IIT sports meet. So we were there in IIT Delhi. When the offer came to my house, then my wife sent me a telegram saying that this offer. And what happened? I joined here. First, for 2 years only, from leave, IIT can give me 2 years. After working for 2 years, we know what is the merit and demerit. This is what I'm telling. You need to work out the merit and demerits when you are changing jobs. Okay, then you have to make a decision, solid decision. There is merit and demerit working in IIT. There is a merit and demerit working in this institute. We worked out the merit and demerit. Then we thought, okay, we took a risk of resigning the job, IIT Madras job. But that was the best job for anybody working in India as a faculty or science research person. IIT working in IIT is the best, no doubt. We resigned the position. We worked here from 2003. Working here again have a lot of merits and demerits. I will tell you some of them. Gulf country, you know very well. This is a Gulf country. It is a desert, you know very well. Most of these Gulf countries are desert area. But then both the side you have sea, Arabian Gulf here, Red Sea here. This is the Mediterranean Sea, East Europe here, Iran, Iraq, Africa, North. This is Egypt. So it's all surrounded by it like that. People from many countries, they come here either to work in Oman or UAE or Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait or Saudi Arabia. This is a normal destination for people around the world. You know, Qatar is paying the highest salary in the world. If you are an engineer, if you work in Qatar, you will be paid the highest in the world. So that is like that. In general, though it is all desert country, you will see the side. Okay. So you will see a lot of fascinating projects and many of them in the sea. And if you enter into a shopping mall, you see the civil engineering structure. You will see a lot of innovation in construction. For example, this is what I used to tell you. So the beam, normally it is a straight line, but here people use even curve in the beam. They always try to introduce new type of technique. You go to open market, it is like this. And people in Gulf country, they are all mainly non-vegetarians, like this. Then their culture is a little bit different from India, food culture. Dates is the next one after oil they produce. Some of the dates are very delicious, they export. People here, they were very good during good olden days, they were very good in pearl diving. Arabian Gulf pearl was expensive during those days. Good olden days, Thuthukudi in Nadu, the people in Thuthukudi were very good divers. So these people used to do diving. The pearl, they come to India, sell it, and then they buy all the things. Here, people also is good in jewelry business. Okay, very promising and very high quality jewelry business. One of the highest jewelry businesses in Gulf countries. Most of the Gulf country is ruled by king, so they take decisions, very fast decisions. If they wanted to make something, very fast decisions they make because there is a king rule. And the culture of the dress culture codes are a little bit different. You will see in different countries here. In Dubai, it is a little bit open, so you will see culture a little bit different in Dubai. A typical home in our place is like that. Most of these foods are from different parts of the world. Europe, America, India, rice from India, mutton from Australia. You will see all from different countries. So here we have very little agricultural products. Cultures are a little bit different. You can see the culture, the camel race, all these things you will see. In most of the Gulf country, dust cyclone is one of the problems we see here in Kuwait. Every year, few times, you have dust like that. In spite of all these things, many people wanted to come to Gulf. The reason is attractive package, little bit easy life, tax-free, few hours of flight from India. Culture is similar to India, little bit conservative, so it's a little bit similar. Qualification, as I told you, a fresh engineering graduate, getting job is difficult nowadays. In good olden days, it was possible. When demand was very high and supply was very less, it was possible in good olden days. Nowadays, you need to be an engineering degree holder with very high specialized experience. You need to be a specialist to get a good job here. You know, Arabic is good. For an engineer, what type of job in general available? Medium level job is occupied by local people. Many local people here nowadays, they do engineering and they are waiting for job. The government gives top priority for local people. Everywhere it is like that, everywhere around the world. What is available is two level, low level, high level. High level job means you will be a high specialist. Okay, in the country, the knowledge you have, nobody else will have. That is the high level. You must be in that level or low level. This only is available in Gulf countries. There is no permanent job for anybody coming from abroad. It's all contract, 2-year, 3-year contract. If you really deliver good, your contract will keep going. There is no permanent citizenship in Gulf countries. Normal salary package, this is an average salary actually. You are a BE with 5 to 10 year experience. If you are in a company here, your salary will be 2 lakh to 3 lakh per month. Yearly airfare they give you. Bonus every year you will get. Your children, up to 3 children, they will take care of education. Your salary increases based on performance. There is no fixed salary increase. If an engineer is doing well, he will get high salary increase. If somebody is not doing well, he may not get any increase. So these are different. Okay. Working facility in general is good everywhere. The working facility infrastructure is good. 8 hours per day. If you are in government, you work for 5 days. Private sector, you work for 6 days. Climate is extremely high and low. During summer, 50 degrees C and above, we see for many days. In winter, it is cool. Sometimes the temperature in desert go to 0 degrees. But the beauty is humidity is less. That is the beauty. It's not like Chennai. Chennai, the temperature maximum 41 degrees centigrade, but humidity will be, relative humidity will be closer to 100%. So if you walk during summer in Chennai, even inside IIT campus, you sweat a lot. Here you don't sweat because humidity is very less. If a sweat is coming, without even noticing, they evaporate. So you don't feel yourself. Very little rainfall. We always love to see rains. During only November, December, we get some rain. Though your salary is high, expenditure, particularly house rent, will take sometime your 30-40% of your salary. Okay, this is a normal house rent I'm telling. It is much higher than this. A 2-bedroom house, in some places it go up to 1 lakh rupees per month. So if your salary is 3 lakhs, nearly 1/3 you have to pay for house. Food, transport, they are all little bit higher than India. Not much. So this is all the background to work in Gulf countries. So you need to be a specialist in your area. Then only you get a good, respectable job. Okay. And say I will skip all these things. When you are asking question, I will tell you some of the things, but I want to show you only one. There are websites to apply for Gulf job. So I have with me about 12-14 websites where most of the companies, when they need to get some engineer to a company, they normally advertise in these websites. Okay, so if you go through this website, I will share this particular presentation with Mr. Uday Kumar. And if anybody is interested, please get in touch with him to explore this website. Some of you already working, with a few years of working, you can upload your CV here, you may get an opportunity. Okay, that is possible. For your attention, there are a lot of brokers and unauthorized recruitment agencies. They don't try to lose your money with them. See, nowadays, government of Tamil Nadu, they have an office in Chennai called Overseas Manpower Corporation Office. Okay, you can also go through the website. So through this website, you can also register, and sometimes it is like an employment office for the girls' job. So if your experience shoots, they will give you an easy call. So okay, okay, fine. So I'm stopping here. Now we will go for discussions. And your questions, any of your questions, I will try to answer with some of the questions material.
Participants, please ask your questions.
Okay.
Otherwise, Tamil or English, no problem. You ask in Tamil or English also.
Yeah, you can ask in Tamil or English or German or Hindi. Or you can type here. In chat box also you can type. If you have anything that you wanted to know, you can type in chat box.
Participants, any questions? Please free to ask.
Actually, it's a wonderful session, sir. Really, we are enjoying it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Actually,
Actually, there in environmental engineering. Okay, fine. Okay, so there is an offer to have a scientific research-based publication minimum of something like 10 number in Q1 journal. That is what it is. This is the minimum. So, by father of Germany, SPS in Japan, When they know this, they know some of the projects they have to cooperate with Netherlands. Or they will try to with India, then it is better. So they decide. Then they will come to India. They look for suitable institute. They make a MOU and then joint work they do. So like that, in many of our research area, we cooperate. For example, right now I have one project with three institutes. One is one institute is in America. The professor is a very well-known professor in my institute. And the other institute, we are in research institute with the university. So we do like that. We do cooperation on projects, different projects. I know food technology is one area. They have a joint research with India, with National Food Research Institute, Mysore. So like that, we do a lot of activity by interacting with the different countries.
Sure, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your valuable information, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Mr. Sahu Hamid. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Participants, any other questions?
Can ask in Tamil, no problem.
Okay, sir. There are no questions from participant side. Okay, will any doubt for future, any clarification for studies and others, it will be message or mail for the Dr. S. Neelamani sir. For already sir will be shown that mail ID and WhatsApp number also. We will text it and
WhatsApp number.
sir will be put the.
Again, I am giving. You can share with them. This is what my email ID. I will share the presentation with Mr. Uday Shankar. For any participant who wanted to go through the presentation again for more clarification, can go through. Or in future, you are most welcome to contact.
So the one more doubt, sir. One more doubt, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Shahul Hamid, yeah, go ahead.
Sir.
Hello.
Shahul Hamid, sir. Yes, sir.
Communication problem.
Yes, communication problem, sir.
Sahul.
So it is audible?
Yeah.
Udit Kumar, sir.
Audible.
Sir, yes, sir. One of my relatives, one of my relatives, they're planning for MTech program in the process. They're planning for MTech program in abroad. They applied for Canada. In Canada, they approached some consultancy, but they're asking more money, sir. Yes, sir. How to choose our career in either the Gulf belt is best or Canada, like US, is best, sir. Because they're asking more money. And the band also you have to maintain like that.
Yeah, you have to maintain, yeah. There are poor
background.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'll tell you the point. In most of the developed countries, for your master's degree in engineering, you have to spend anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000. You have to spend. They may give you a scholarship of maximum $10,000.
Okay, sir.
Okay, this is in general. But then I'll tell you one thing. Students from IIT, they get full waiver of tuition fees. Many students from IIT, when they finish their bachelor degree, when they apply for US or Canada, they get full waiver. The reason, you have to see the reason. Why they give full waiver to a student from IIT? When they go abroad, US, when they do their master's degree, afterwards they join in a company, they will work to grow US or Canada. The long run, that's the rule I told you. If they get salary 1 crore rupees per year, how much they will contribute to the company? Order of 10 crore rupees. So finally, it is not the growth of the student, it is the growth of the country. They know very well. If they take a student from IIT and if they give full fellowship, it is not a big loss to them because he is going to deliver thousands of that much of money back to the country. They give. Whereas when somebody applies from other institute, it is not assured, no? That is the reason. Because one of my classmates' daughter, my own classmate, is a daughter. She was in IIT doing her bachelor integrated course in computer science. Okay, 4 year plus one year. If she was doing for integrated computer science. Before she finished her course, she got full support, financial support, admission in MIT. MIT is a topmost in engineering. It's not that easy to get. Full financial support, admission she got. Because they know, they take her for higher studies. Afterwards, she will deliver lot of knowledge to growth of America. This is the secret of developed countries. Then higher studies in Gulf countries, no, Gulf countries is not suitable for good higher studies. Gulf country is suitable only for work, not for studies. Higher studies, you have to do, if you are in India, you have to do either in IIT, or go out to other developed country. Even though if you don't have much money, you try to go out, take loan from government sector or bank, go there, do part-time work, try to do a good study. That's what I say.
Fine, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Understood, sir. I will convey the message to them, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So if there is no question, we will close.
Close this. Okay, sir. So once again, thank you for this wonderful presentation, for your valuable time, sir. Thank you, sir. We will conduct the future
Okay,
classes
fine.
for
Thank you
the
very
same
much.
also, sir.
Okay, Uday Bhaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all the best to the students attended this program. All the best to you all.
Participants, please fill the, I put the feedback form in chat box. Please fill the feedback form. You will be received the certificate in within 5 days.